What's up guys, I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Today we're going to show you how to do the front end alignment on your ATV. It's a similar process for most ATVs and you want to do this during your routine maintenance, or if you've replaced any front end components like your tie rod ends, you want to get in there and make this adjustment. Now it's simple to do. There's a few different methods out there, but I'm going to show you the easiest and most straightforward way to get this done. The tools for this job depends on what machine you have. You're going to need a couple combo wrenches, a paint pen or chalk. We also have a tape measure and a low pressure tire gauge. For most machines, you're only going to be able to adjust the toe. So with that being said, the first step is to check for any worn out or damaged parts. So you're going to make sure that the A-arms aren't bent. You want to check those bushings, your ball joints, and the tie rod ends. And you also want to make sure that the tie rod itself is not bent. So if you find any of those components to be bad, you want to get in there, get those replaced, and then you can continue with your alignment. So if you're not familiar with inspecting those parts, all you're doing, if you want to check the ball joints and those bushings and the A-arms, you're going to rock the wheel top to bottom and check for play. So ours is feeling good. To check the tie rod ends, you're going to rock this side to side, and then bends, usually that's going to be pretty obvious, but if it's less obvious, you might see some cracking around a weld on the paint. That's going to indicate something's bent. So with that being said, we're going to lower our machine and we're going to check our tire pressures first. The next step is to use either a paint pen or some chalk. You're going to mark the center of your tire, and that's going to be at the axle height. So you'll do that on both sides. Now the next step will change from machine to machine. Sometimes you're going to need to have a rider sitting on the machine while you take these measurements. Other times, like our machine, you're actually going to raise the front wheels off the ground before you take your measurement. You can reference your manual for that information. So with the front wheels off the ground, I'm going to set the handlebars straight and take my measurement. So I'm right at 80 centimeters. So from here, we need to rotate the wheels backwards 180 degrees. So those white marks are facing the back of the machine. And again, they need to be at the axle height. Now we can take that same measurement on the back, and it's nice to have a friend help you do this. So when you talk about an ATV alignment, you talk in terms of toe in. So that means the front of the tires, they're pigeon-toed just a little bit. So for our machine, the toe in is 0, meaning the tires are perfectly straight, 0 to 10 millimeters toed in. So we can be up to 10 millimeters pigeon-toed. So our measurement, we had 80 centimeters in the front, and then in the back it was 84 centimeters. So these are toed in quite a bit, so we need to bring those out. So we're going to loosen the jam nuts on our tie rods and then make that adjustment. And when you do that, you want to turn both tie rods the same amount. That way you keep the handlebars straight with your adjustment. To loosen the jam nut, we're holding the tie rod. Keep in mind, this outer jam nut typically is going to be reverse threads. The inside jam nut is going to loosen the same way. And then since we had a bunch of toe in, we need to suck these tie rod ends in. So I'm going to turn this clockwise if I'm looking at it from the outside. And I'm just going to start with one turn. Then we'll go do the same thing on the other side and take another measurement. Now one thing I do want to point out, as you're doing this, if you notice that the exposed threads on your tie rod ends are different from side to side or inside to outside, then you definitely want to reference your manual, and they actually will usually give you a measurement for the exposed threads as well as the overall length, and you want to try to match that up to your manual. So now that we have that adjusted up, we'll go ahead and take that second measurement. So we're at 82 even. Now I'll spin the tires 180 degrees and take the front measurement. So our second set of measurements was 81.5 centimeters on the front and 82 centimeters on the back. So that means we have 5 millimeters of toe in, which is right in the middle of our spec. So we're going to leave it there and tighten down our jam nuts. And once you've done that, you want to go for a test drive. If your handlebars are slightly off center, what you're going to have to do is come back in, loosen the jam nuts up. Your toe should still be correct. So you're going to turn these tie rods a half turn at a time evenly. So turn one in, turn one out until the handlebars are centered. Now, the other thing that can happen is if you have a toe out situation, what you're going to do is just turn the tie rods so they extend and are longer and bring the front end in. And that's all there is to aligning your ATV. It's really simple to do. If you have any questions about this, leave those questions down in the comments below. And if you need any parts or accessories for your ATV, you can find those on our website. And if you like this content and want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.